Hey folks, Engineer 775 here, wanting to show you on a rainy day, I chose this day on purpose, how to make hot water using a thermosiphoning process. The coil that I've made, bent this with ice. You can do it with sand. There's a video I've done on this project. I've placed it inside some stovepipe, drilled 2 holes on the other side, and I've adapted it down to 4-inch. This is all inexpensive stovepipe from a local hardware store, and then some copper tubing for the thermal siphoning process. And what I'm going to be doing is, as the water comes into this hot coil, it will rise up in the coil and dump into the top of the water heater. I picked up, somebody was throwing it away. So I have the ability to heat that 40-gallon water heater with some sticks that people were throwing away. So this is a do-it-yourself hot water on-demand heater that could supply you plenty of water, hot water that is, in a grid down situation. So let's get her started. It's raining, it's starting to pick up a little bit, but I want to show you what you can do with some scraps, things that have been scavenged and things thrown away, but really focusing on what the little StoveTech stove can do for you. Okay, we've got the fire going pretty good here in our stove, and I just want to show you what kind of temperatures we're getting. There's 540 degrees. That's where the coil is sitting, right in there at I think 556, 565. 565 was the max temperature I think I'm getting right now. And I removed some of the stack. I had too much stack on there. I was getting too much airflow, and I wasn't getting the heat. I do have a diffuser plate, little cap sitting on here right above the coil to keep the heat down in this chamber, so I get a good heat exchange. Again, the cold water is coming from the bottom. Let me show you that. And it's a standard water heater, so I just cold water from the drain, and I just teed off, put a shut off and a check valve, and then the cold water goes and it hits the bottom of the coil, and then it rises up in here. So this is, you can hear some gurgling. Let's see. Here. And this thing will burn your hand off. It's so hot. Hear that gurgling? That's hot water going to the top. You can see this thing shake a little bit as it thermosiphons and pumps. What I'm going to do is disconnect this line because you really can't see, and I'll be back. Alright, so I've disconnected this line, and I'm going to bring it down here to the side. I'm trying not to burn myself. So, alright, I've pulled this thing down, and you can see this thing spitting water, okay? I don't know if you see the steam coming off, but this is being done without electricity, folks. This is just through the heat. I'm going to put some hot water in this bottle. Again, it's not a fast process, but there's no electricity, there's no pump. And this water, you see the steam rolling off it. It's going to melt this plastic bottle. Oh yeah. So, and that's very, very hot. So you can see my on-demand, see it's steaming. This is just a natural process. And this, I don't know if you see the steam coming off it, but that is hot. That water was about 180 degrees. So, yeah, this can be a little dangerous, but you need hot water for your dishes or for laundry. And this thing is just pumping away. There goes a little steam. So it's kind of like an old coffee pot. We're just percolating here. You feed a little wood in. Let that thing burn. And there's no electricity on here, folks. It's just pumping water by using heat. I think you can see the steam coming off. So it would take a little while, but half hour, and it's all up to how good a fire stoker you are, but I can heat that water heater up in about 30 minutes. And towards the end, though, obviously the water is getting warmer that comes into the bottom of the coil, so the differential isn't as much. Right now the water is like 60 degrees coming into the coil, coming out at steam. See the steam coming off, real hot water coming off of there. So that's it. That's the do-it-yourself Stove Tech Fire and Ice on-demand water heater. Is that a long enough title? Okay, I think that's it. So we're just pumping water. So as long as you have a container of water and you hook up a thermal siphon to a heat source, you would have hot water. And it's an often overlooked prep for those preparing. Some people spend a lot of money doing solar hot water heaters on demand. You got propane. You know me, I love the wood and water, and you can do just about anything you need. Alright, I think that's enough. I hope I explained it well enough. Go back and look at the bending the copper tubing with ice. Still tweaking this to get some better output. I'm going to step up the copper tubing. This is 3/8. If I did it in 1/2 inch, I would get probably 40% more hot water. Definitely 40% more surface area. So, but this is sufficient. You know, you do this for a half hour. Again, you're mixing this. If you mix that with some cold water, you're in good shape. But again, this thing is pumping without power. I think I've covered it. Okay, let's stoke this fire, and again, now it's no sense wasting it. So I'm going to hook it back to the water heater, but just hope you understand that that water would be going into the top of the water heater. The cold water would be coming out, and it would keep doing that until that tank equalized or normalized to, as long as you have that fire going, it would ultimately just keep going up and up and up in temperature until the pop-off blew. So be careful when you're doing these things. This is the way people used to heat water. Engineer 775 signing off.